wash my soul in the ocean, in the tears of God, I let it go.
Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com, and these are your astrology videos for April 2022. The April 2022 is full of new beginnings again. All planets are moving direct, so we're continuing into new territory, a lot of new unexpected events for the whole world, but for us personally as well, where we're required to adapt and to act very fast, and we'll be surprised constantly. And the eclipses are starting. The eclipses! The whole financial situation and economy might be shaken. We already can feel it a month before that with an eclipse in Taurus, and we all have to adapt very quickly. Let's find out how it will affect you personally. It's going to be a very exciting month. And Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, wow, this is divine blessings that are given to us. They almost like can fall on our lap, and divine intuition. So let's see how to adapt. But first I wanted to excitedly to tell you that I'm doing a course of 6 months. Me personally, I rarely do courses, that how to interpret the natal chart, the Astrolada method. We're going to be using all techniques that I've gathered from Western Babylonian, Greek, Vedic astrology that work the best, and I'll teach you these techniques, how to read a natal chart, to put it together, to make sense of it. And you need to know minimal astrology, what the signs are, what the planets are, what the houses mean. And I will teach you my methods, and we'll look at different life themes, how to look at love, how to look at career, and how to, if you're analyzing a chart, what's the most important things, where to start, and how to answer questions of astrology very easy. I love easy techniques. I don't like difficult astrology. Astrology should have easy answers. I'm an Aries. I need quite quick, fast, easy answers. Not looking at semi-squares and midpoints. No, it has to be very simple, sticks out. So much fire, political career, fantastic, or whatever. So I teach you how I do that with very easy astrology techniques. Join me. It's 30% discounted for the first 150 people. So thank you so much. Let's start the 12 signs. Pisces, big month for you. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising, because Jupiter, your planet, is becoming visible around after the first week of the April. So the first week of April and the second week of April, you're going to feel the strong influence of Jupiter. According to ancient Babylonian astrology, when your planet becomes visible, you come into your power. Your health can improve and strengthen, and is becoming visible in your sign. For the last 2-3 months, Jupiter was invisible, the planet that rules you traditionally. So some of you Pisces might have felt diminished energy levels. Yes, the sun was in your sign in March, maybe uplifting it, but still you can't fully manifest yourself and in the material world and have tangible results, or feel as motivated until your planet is visible. Oftentimes a person can be even in some kind of a mini crisis while Jupiter is invisible. You see, Jupiter has been invisible for 2 months, and we have a war, and Jupiter is goodwill between people. And so we all waiting for your planet to appear. And you'll feel maybe stronger physically, you'll feel like you're coming out on stage, and you'll feel like you're rising, you're becoming visible, you're becoming stronger, more motivated, more driven, more faith-filled. New opportunities can appear in your life. With this, the appearance of Jupiter in your sign is not going to appear again in your sign for 12 years. So some powerful new beginnings to be expected for Pisceans this month, with the birth of their planet in their sign. New beginnings with health, new beginnings if it's your sun in Pisces, with maybe career goals, important male figures in your life, new beginnings with home and family or emotional relationship if your moon is in Pisces. And of course, we have Jupiter conjunct Neptune that is happening in your sign. Again, a new 12-year cycle happening on the 12th of April, around the time Jupiter is becoming visible. So your two rulers are joining, and it's like a double whammy. Both your rulers are together and they see eye to eye, and they want to lead you on the right path, because the first house is the house of Dharma. Who are you? Where are you meant to be? To feel that where your dharma, basically. Dharma is where is the path you have to walk on that will bring you most joy, the path of least resistance. That is what the soul wants for you, meaning that doing the things that you're naturally born to be, to understanding who you are. So Jupiter can give birth with Neptune, more understanding and clarity about your mission, your spiritual path, who you are, clarity about you as an identity. And of course, if you're a Pisces, you have a very gentle mission here on earth. Yes, you might do badass things as well, but you have a mission of uniting others. Whatever you do, even if you're a car repair technician, you have a mission of bringing love, unconditional love, and gentleness and peace, and finer feelings of inspiration to others. And you can feel those inspiring impulses very strongly this April now. You're the ones that are receiving the divine conjunction between the planet Jupiter, which is angelic wisdom, and because there is the human world, the angelic world, and the divine world, the three levels. So Jupiter is angelic wisdom, it's very high level wisdom. Neptune is divine love, unconditional love, very high vibration. So joining of those two, there can be some incredible blessings coming to some of you Pisces, especially those of you who are around 24 degrees of Pisces. This is my little daughter. She's exactly 24 degrees. Sun 23, 24, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 degrees. But all Pisces, the conjunction is happening in your sign, and you're going to be some kind of, maybe even start playing some important role for the next 12 years as a peacemaker, as an artist, as a healer, as some new mission can unlock for some of you, that you start realizing what it is from April onwards. And as I said, if it's happening, there are some of you might even have spiritual experiences, mystical experiences, both a sense of unity, a sense of divine love. I hope you experience that. This is the highest manifestation of Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, a sense of divine love and presence, or even download some inspiration, some message, be a messenger of love and so on. Or even some inspiration that you, like a creative project that you download, and a vision, very philanthropic, humanistic. Jupiter is very philanthropic planet, and so is Neptune. You might be called to do something philanthropic or help others. It doesn't have to be on a world scale. It can be to help someone and get involved with some charitable activities. Plus, some of you can really have some kind of a soul answer to a question about their career, because Jupiter rules their career as well, their mission in life. Sagittarius there, the 10th house, the most visible thing that you're here to achieve, to serve to God through. And Jupiter and Neptune, which is you, is joining to Jupiter. I don't have Jupiter, sorry. And there is a new spark, like a realization of what it is the mission to do. So some of you might take important career decisions. Some of you might decide to take career direction in a sense that is more humane, philanthropic, more charitable, that opens up to wider circles, to the whole world in some way. There can be some important developments with your career, new beginnings there, and so on. Of course, not everyone is so highly vibrational. It can be way more mundane things as well that can manifest. Of course, I don't want to scare you, but Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in Pisces has a connotation of letting go or losing something as well. But it's something that God is relieving you from, even if it feels like a loss for the moment. And it's something that is very important for you personally, because it's happening in your sign. It can be connected to your social status, to career as well, but or to other things. It can feel like some kind of a loss of identity, but only because new identity, which is more higher vibrationally and more finer vibration and more wisdom and love-filled identity, is going to take place and fill out the space of the old identity that you had for yourself and the old role that you played, which might be dying now, but over the next 12 years, a new identity will be born. It might not be an immediate process, But it might start first with the loss or death of something you consider your own identity, and it will be filled in with way more Neptunian, Jupiterian identity, which is those higher vibrations closer to unconditional love, charitability, kindness, virtue, goodness, and generosity, and doing something of meaning. I would advise you, of course, if you're especially those degrees, to check up your health. It is important, the 22, 3, 4, 5, 6 degrees, because Neptune is there. But I do hope it's mostly influencing you through some powerful inspiration, through some powerful download, through some powerful new beginnings, and a new role that you might have to play. Or a gentle kind of sense of peace that comes over you, and divine blessing of some sort that comes over you. It's like Jupiter and Neptune both work through the law of attraction rather than go fight and take. So something can come, hopefully as good karma to you. All right, and let's return a little bit back. This is for the whole month. Jupiter, Neptune, Jupiter becoming visible. You can expect those themes. Venus is entering your sign, so it can also bring you, after the first week, it's going to be there in Pisces. It can make you feel more attractive, more loving again. It can bring more illusion qualities into your life, even if it brings love, because Venus is love. It's going to be close to Jupiter, Neptune. It can be a love that is kind of otherworldly almost. So it can bring love to something spiritual, love that is unconditional of some sort. If it's towards a human being or a child, it can be very unconditional, very pure love, or it can be towards an animal or love. It can be towards, but you feel those vibrations of love, but it can be even human love, if it brings, it can bring some more calm and peaceful energy to you. But let's start from the beginning of the month. On the 1st of April, there is a new moon in your second house with Mercury, and that's about renewal, your interest in those things. The second house is money, finances. I know you're all like Neptunian and Jupiter and on the wave of inspiration, but you'd also take care of material things, your money, finances, resources, paying bills. And there can be even a renewed interest to try something new, to gain more money, or to to gain new resources, or something tangible, or something of value to you. There can be some plan that you write down, Mercury, or that you construct, business plan or whatever, for increase of gains or change of strategy with resources of some sort. And they can be more focused on maybe gaining, buying things of value, of beauty, whether it's clothes or, anything that you consider like that. Then there is another powerful conjunction of Saturn and Mars in your 12th house. That starts a 2-year cycle, and it does not directly affect you, but it's in the 12th house. It's more like hidden house. And the 12th house is others behind your back, or others. It's for example, 12th house is the things that we do hidden from others, of what we call vices. So with Saturn and Mars there from the 5th of April, they can be a start of starting to battle up. And because Saturn and Mars want you to do something hard, it doesn't come to you easy. You have to use willpower, you have to use muscle power, you have to strategize, otherwise you can't win it. And these are your own inner demons, your own underwater stones, your own self-sabotaging behaviors. You can start some battle there. It can be hard, but I don't know, stop drinking, stop taking some medication, stop whatever it is that you waste your energy on, that sucks your life force. It doesn't necessarily have to be a substance. It can be an action. It can be, there are different addictions. So you might kind of become more ruthless in that area and say, I have to cut this off. But also it can indicate that the consequences of such behaviors become less forgiving, and you see kind of like rock bottom in such behavior. So it escalates and you feel like the demons are very strong, and and it's like, it's high time I have to fight them, Or you can also be careful with any kind of subversive behaviors, doing something behind someone else's back, or doing something illegal, doing something sneaky, or doing something like betrayal or cheating, 12th house rules those things, because there can be more severe consequences when Saturn and Mars are there in the 12th house. Because they don't play around. They're kind of like Saturn is karma and Mars instant karma, And so I would advise you try to, not do some dodgy stuff behind people's backs, like more like battle your own inner demon. Sometimes your dreams can be more restless and intense with those two planets, because sometimes we battle our own traumas and inner demons in the sleep. In sleep, we relive intense feelings, and that's actually a source of a sense of battling it. So there might be some disruptions with your sleep as well. If you're traveling to foreign countries, be a bit careful, especially around the 5th, because if you're in foreign countries, be careful around the 5th, a few days before and after, because this is faraway lands and some kind of stresses or problems can happen with such things at the beginning of April. And this is also hidden enemies. There might be someone that you find out about who is kind of going around and trying to harm your reputation or whatever. Again, I had this in 2020, and Saturn and Mars joined together in my 12th house, and it kind of my certain things, like I find out some things that some people were doing that were pretending to be my friends, but it wasn't a big deal, so it's not necessary that it's going to be something too stressful, but it's also they're starting a new cycle there. So you can be starting a new 2-year cycle of trying, as I said, for some of you, the 12th house is doing something behind the scenes that requires your imagination, like 12th house, or requires you deep research. So some of you might be taking on some deep studies, for example, of the mystical, the spiritual, or it might be about, PhDs are considered to be 12th house because you spend a lot of time in isolation, researching in laboratories and so on. And isolation. So that might be a good new beginning, that Saturn Mars, like starting a PhD or deep research, or even if you're an astrologer, like it's a sign that you might be spending a lot of time preparing something behind the scenes, and working hard on it, and whatever you work in, something that you might be, and that you have to put, and it will be a slow process, and with a lot of energy and efforts, but you have to put a lot of behind the scenes work, so to speak. All right, we talked about this conjunction. Then let's talk about the last important event, and this is the eclipse. Eclipse season is starting. The first eclipse, the more important one, solar eclipse, which has 1-year influence, will be on the 30th of April, and it will be in your 3rd house. It's kind of in a friendly position with you, sextile. But this 3rd house indicates, and this eclipse again in 1-year influence, that there might be, and it's with Rahu and Uranus, both have very similar nature, meaning new beginnings that connected to both the eclipse means new beginnings because it's with Rahu. Uranus is something new, fresh, unusual, and 3rd house is skills. So some of you might be really building upon your skills in the next year, because there will be more eclipses in Taurus down the line. Maybe some of you already started building up upon your toolkit set. I don't know, is it about learning how to garden? Is it about learning how to use a computer, drive a tractor, drive a car, learn a language, play an instrument, build a house? These are all skills. Create a website, do graphic design, all skills. And you can go down the path learning a lot of those skills. And actually, even though I'm Aquarius rising in an equal whole sign, this is my 3rd house if I use like the other house system. So I already started feeling this eclipse, and you can start feeling it a month before. I started learning to knit, I started learning to drive again, I started learning so many things that new things you want to try in Uranus, and these are difficult things, but Uranus opens you up to the exciting and new things, and Rahu is eager to learn new things. But that's a whole year path for you. It can also indicate that new people can enter your life, very unusual and different than before. People in your immediate environment that you call mates, friends, people that you communicate on a daily basis, very different than before. In your social circle, there might be some crisis there. You might get rid of certain friends or acquaintances or people that you collaborate and work in a small group environment with, or groups that you belong to. You can just kind of, because an eclipse can cause crisis, you can get rid of them. But very new people are coming, Uranus, very new energy that you incorporate, that they'll excite you, that they'll make you think differently, talk differently, and think differently, and introduce new ways of being. Then again, they can create some crisis in relationships with siblings. It is an eclipse after all, or in the life of a siblings or relatives or neighbor, or it can be some big developments, because Rahu eclipses tend to give you something, some big developments fated in their life, and in your relationship with them, siblings, relatives, teammates, workmates, neighbors, your immediate environment. They can be also indications that they can be more more short travels, but I would advise you don't travel on the time of the eclipse, on the 30th of April, 2 days before, 2 days after, because surprising things tend to happen. People are not fully, let's say, in control of their passions around eclipses, and it's a bit more dangerous. So even short travels, like don't go on a car trip or bicycles or operate machinery around the time, because it's your third house there. And this eclipse can also indicate the start of more movement, uh, like changing something in how you move around, whether it's a new vehicle or something like that, a new path you need to take. But it's also the start of some project connected to writing or speaking, and kind of fated, and it kind of very important. Writing or speaking or media or sales. These are all three things that this new moon eclipse, which is about new beginnings, can bring new energy, and especially if you use high technology or digital things, because Uranus is involved there to undertake such things. So there you go. Thank you so much, Pisces. Hope that was helpful. And yeah, I hope maybe you use this third house eclipse to join me on my course starting the start of May, which is to learning new skills, and which is about learning how to interpret the natal chart by simple techniques which I've gathered over the years, and how to make a whole out of them. Thank you.